Good morning, everybody. Good morning, their teacher. Today I am going to interview Katherine. She's teacher here in Liceo Los Alamos. She's working with boys and girls in 8, 9, and 10th grade. So, good morning, teacher. Thanks for accepting me to the interview.
You're welcome.
The current interview is about differences in the same language. So, it will not take more than 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Can we start?
Okay, I'm ready.
The first question is, how can you differentiate language from dialect?
Okay, when we talk about language, maybe we have to talk about the standard language because we have to teach the standard language in order to have a better communication between people from different countries. And when we talk about dialects, we have a different vocabulary, a different pronunciation, and also we can talk about the different word order sometimes. So that's the difference between language that could be standard language and dialect.
Thank you. The second question says, how can you define morphology?
Morphology is the meaning of each word has, and also phrases. When we say, I don't know, it's raining cats and dogs, we have a different meaning, that it is raining too much, okay? But it is not that it is really raining cats and dogs, that they are not falling from the sky. So that's morphology, the meaning of each word and phrases gives to a sentence.
Okay, thank you. The third question says, how can you define syntax?
Okay, syntax is specifically when we talk about grammar. When we talk about codes, and every word order that we have to use. For example, when we say the big beautiful house, we have to talk about first the size, then how does it look, and then the noun.
Okay.
We have to define what are we talking about. That's the grammar, the correct word order that we use
In
the
sentence,
language.
Yeah. And then the fourth question says, what is the most common way in which dialects of a language vary?
What is the okay? I think that I can choose pronunciation. Sometimes sentence formation because of the word order. For example, in American English, we can say November 8th, 2018. But in British English, we have to say 8th November 2018. Yeah, that's the way that the same language vary from American English and British English. But also we can define this for the pronunciation. Because you know British and American English is different, and from the same country, USA, we have a different pronunciation from people from the north to the south.
So, like in Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. The fifth question says, can you provide an example of dialect variation based on the option you just chose? For example, can you tell me another example about pronunciation, maybe, between British and English?
Yeah, for example, between British and English.
In
American English, we say water, and British, they have a strong emphasis in the A, water.
It's the most common, right?
Yeah, it's the most common, and they have a different pronunciation in many words, and sometimes they have different meanings. In, for example, vest. We are talking about the vest that we wear, and they have a different meaning, like a kind of animal. I think I don't really know right now, but
okay, don't worry. Okay. The sixth question says, what is the most common reason for dialects to vary? Do you think it is geographical location, economic status, or educational status?
All of them have their point, because maybe if you don't have a good educational status, you can confuse between singular and plural. Also, Americans can confuse between those words, but I prefer to choose geographical location because they tend to use some stress in different parts of the words. So, and also they have a different slang from other places. So I prefer to choose a geographical location.
It's like you said before, different pronunciation in between the people from north to the south.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe, do you have any example?
An example, okay. I don't know right now.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
Maybe here in Ecuador in Spanish we will.
Here in Ecuador we have a lot of examples, but now
I think it's a little bit difficult. Yeah. But anyway, I think it's easy to find these examples when we watch movies with people who is from the north or the south or from Texas, the country or something like that, right? Okay, thank you. Okay, the eighth question says, taking into account English language, can you tell me an existing difference in regard to pronunciation, spelling, and sentence formation between British and American English?
That's what I told you. I already told you about, for example, water.
Yeah.
The American English, they pronounce water, and the British English, they pronounce water.
For example, spelling?
Spelling.
Color, maybe?
Yeah. They tend to use after the O.
You. The British.
The British, they tend to use the O and U. But in American English, we don't have most of the words are just have the O, and that's all.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, and sentence formation. You told me about the date, for example.
Yeah. The date is something that I was studying with my students because they tend to learn more about American English because that's what we watch on movies. We have series, everything Netflix. Most of the things in Netflix are from America, and also music and everything. But when we talk about dates, we have a correct word order from Americans. So we have to use first the month, then the day, the number of the day, and then we have to say the year. But in British English, we have to say as well as in Spanish. We have to say the day, then month, and after that, year.
Okay, thank you. Now, taking into account the Spanish language, can you tell me an existing difference in regard to pronunciation, spelling, and sentence formation between the coast and the Sierra region speakers?
Yeah. And also we have many slang here. For example, in the Sierra region, we tend to use the S or
the R.
The double R, and also we say that pequeñito, chiquito to everything. And in the coast region, they tend to omit the R, and they use the Y instead of L.
Okay.
For example, when we talk about the verb call, llámame with double L in Spanish, and in the coast region they tend to pronounce like llámame.
Llámame, okay, yes.
So they switch the double L with the Y.
Yeah, okay, good. And maybe the sentence formation? Something?
No, I don't think so. We have more
about pronunciation or spelling, maybe.
Yeah, spelling. but it does tend to be more educational too, you know.
Or and geographical.
Yeah,
because
but
of course
no word order. Because here we live in a small country and we don't have a lot of space to develop a new language. But I just choose the word order, no, just pronunciation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other dialect variation that you can tell how it happens?
Yeah, for example, in Spanish, we have different dialects. Also in the United States, for example, when we talk about black people, when they talk between each other, they don't care about the subject, you know, because they are talking about you, they said yeah, and also they said she are sometimes, or he are. So they tend to switch verbs and they don't recognize between a third person in the simple verbs, in simple present.
They're very informal.
Because they speak so fast, so they don't care if they are using the correct grammar.
Okay.
Also here, when we talk about people from some kind of ethnic groups, they tend to mix the Quechua with Spanish. Also from the citizens in the main cities in Ecuador, we use some of those words like guagua, achachay, arraray.
And they also, when they speak Spanish, they also skip the subject, no?
Yeah, but that's a kind of understood sentence. That's okay. Also, we have that in English.
Yeah, okay. Okay, teacher. It will be a pleasure. Thank you very much for helping me.
You're welcome.
And good vibes for you. Thank you very much.